It's that time of the week, Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. It is the Jared Bednar Show. It's presented by Audi. Denver, always good to talk to you. The head coach of the Colorado Avalanche, Jared Bednar. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win last night. My first question is, the hell did you say after the first period in the locker room? What was going on there?
We just went in and had a chat about, our standard of play and playing on both sides of the puck and being as good a team defensively as we want to be and have been offensively. And the guys responded. I liked what we did in the last 40 minutes. I liked a lot of things we did in the first period, but defensively we kind of let our young goalie and Hunter Miska hung him out to dry a little bit on a few of those goals.
Coach, all I could think about was Miska when goal after goal after goal, you put 8 of them on the board, and the emotional part of me said, God, that poor kid's got to sit there and watch it all. As a coach, how do you handle that? How do you handle sitting a kid after one period?
Well, I didn't talk to him yesterday. I said it last night in the post game presser that once I make the decision to pull him and put Groovy in, then it's my focus is going still to the guys that are in the lineup and trying to help us win that hockey game or what we have to do as a team. So it was a busy intermission, but I'll talk to him today and say, listen, everyone has their bad nights. It's just when you're a goalie, that you just become the forefront of the conversation because you're the last line of defense. And if you have a bad night, everyone knows it. Like some guys can have a bad night. Some guys can have terrible nights and people might not even pick up on it, because again, they could be making their mistakes up ice. But when it's the goalie, everyone knows it and you're going to take a little heat for it. But for me, it's all it is he's a young developing goaltender that's working hard and trying to get better. It's not an ideal situation for him, having not played for a long time and then trying to jump in and win hockey games in the National Hockey League. He has to continue to work and strive to get better, and he'll do that. I can tell just by his work ethic and his attitude. So he's a really good kid and a real good teammate, so we'll pick him up today.
When Nate came back from injury, Coach, he said, look, we need to continue to play defensive hockey and our offense will come. We don't need to, by not – you're not sacrificing offense by playing defense. I think it showed last night in the final 2 periods. I mean, you guys, again, got back into what you want to do system-wise. You guys were incredibly efficient against the Ducks, yet the offense poured it on. When you look at periods 2 and 3, is that what you have in mind as a coach, prototypical Colorado Avalanche hockey?
Yeah, absolutely. And even the LA series, I know we had a little bit of trouble putting the puck in the net, but the second game we get 4 goals. And, I mean, it's proven for me when I go back through the game tape and watch, us produce scoring chances and the quality of our scoring chances, oftentimes we get our best chances and best quantity of chances when we keep the other team's chances really low. We'll have some games where we trade chances and are equal, but for the most part, like if we're going to try and push to the 20 chance mark, we're keeping teams under 10, and that's just the way it is. You're closing quickly defensively, taking away time and space, jumping on teams in all 3 zones, creating turnovers and getting on the attack. Like the transition part of our game has always been a real strength for us. And that's why I think you'll see games when we're not very good. It's just because we're not skating. We don't have our legs, And that's why we're really trying to manage the work-rest ratio here in this condensed schedule.
And with that, Coach, you look at last night and Miska gets the start. How much of that was Miska being off last night and how much of that was not getting a lot of help defensively?
Well, I say probably 50-50. Yeah. Like I did not like those chances we gave up. It wasn't I didn't like the number either, but we gave up 6-7 chances in the first period, and it was the quality of those chances. Like we were leaving guys open in front of the net, just sort of casually checking them in our zone, turning the puck over, and Anaheim was working. Like they're a young team, they're a hungry team, they have a lot of pride. Hasn't been going good for them, and they came out jumping in the offensive zone and wanted to prove something. And we were just playing on one half of the rink. And Miska had a tough night for sure. Like I think he there's a couple of those goals that he's on. He's making the saves on them, and it's probably a tie game coming out of the first period, and away we go. But we had to come out of a hole last night. But it's not that. That's why I don't put it on Miska. That's on our whole team, including him.
But what's crazy to me is how players in front of him, when you get your security blanket back there, and that's Grubauer, right? And he enters the game, and all of a sudden, when you hit posts, those posts aren't being hit anymore. You're making goals. Heck, you're scoring off the back of the other goaltender. You're doing things. The confidence level is back. The team plays with a different demeanor. How do you explain that?
Well, that's what great goalies allow you to do. I think they allow you to know that you can go play your game, that you don't have to be – that it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's got to be to your identity and up-tempo and physical, and you can just go play a little less thinking, a little less protecting, and you know that if you need a save that your goalie's going to make it, and then you can turn the puck around and get going back the other direction. And the shooting part of it, I think that's a focus thing, right? Like scoring goals is a commitment. So you can be committed to defend and committed to do the right things offensively and structurally and all that. But at the end of the day, there's going to be an opportunity to hopefully you create where you get the puck in a scoring area, and you got to bear down, and you got to put your nose over the puck, and you got to shoot it through the net. If you're casual on it or lay off it, or you're not as focused as you need to be, then sometimes you're not going to score. And we had opportunities last night. You're doing the right things. Sometimes you just don't get the luck. Like, I mean, we hit, I think it was five.
Yeah, stupid post, man. Stupid post.
And the one that was laying in the crease, you watched the one that hits the post is laying in the crease, and we're going as hard as we can to the net. I think it was O'Connor.
Well, he got stuffed in the back of the net. Yeah.
And somehow we missed the puck. The puck was in the crease, and he goes flying in there, and somehow it doesn't go in. Like, that's just the kind of luck we were getting in the first period. But good on our guys to respond. It's a game we wanted. It's a game we needed. And, we start to come and the offense stayed, to me it was the same as it was in the first. Like, I liked it. Like, we were shooting and going and creating, and but we just tightened it up on the other end, and Gruby made the saves we needed him to make, and we were able to carve out the 2 points. And Gruby still got some rest. He had 2 days off the ice, or a day and a half, and then goes in for 2 periods. So he'll be refreshed and ready to go here for Mini, which is a key for us.
Coach, you and Vic, well, you know Vic well. I think you and Vic, you guys think the same. And it goes a little bit like this in the back end. You've got Taves and you've got Girard, and they're able to handle the load with McCarr out and EJ out and Bowen doing his thing. Yet you say, you know what, guys, the time for rest may be down the road. I don't want to kill you. Take a day off, and we'll give you a massage, and that's all well and good. But you're going to play some minutes, right? And you got to do what you got to do. So how much of it is it a luxury for a coach like you to have guys back there that you can depend on, that you can throw out in all situations to help grind through times when the injuries to the back end have really taken their toll?
That's huge. It's huge. And not just guys that can eat minutes, but guys that can be as good as those two guys are in the minutes that they're getting. They're elevated minutes, playing all situations, pushing 25 to 30 minutes a night every night in a condensed schedule, and then still to be able to play to the caliber that they've been playing. It's really remarkable. It's something that only the best teams have. That's that luxury. And when you get a guy like Kale back, he's been out a significant amount of time now, but he's a well-conditioned athlete. He'll come back in, and even if he comes in at 20 minutes instead of 25, and those guys keep eating 25 instead of close to 30, it's still a nice reprieve for those guys and another guy that can jump in all those situations. And, that's what you're looking for, the depth. You're going to have guys that are just on certain nights. It's our job as coaches to recognize that and play them a little bit more. And just kind of find that balance where they're feeling good through a game and then also the next game. And we got some young guys that have come in here and done a heck of a job for us. You guys that are depth guys in Renouf and McDonald, Patterns come in and done a nice job now. And you get these guys playing, it just, it's a good lineup, even though we have these guys injured, just the way they're playing right now. So credit to the players.
Coach, though, Vic, though, he would play them until they pass out and not care. You know that, right?
I was wondering, why do you keep bringing me up in this conversation? Like, what is it? What do I have to do with this?
Because Vic just wants to use guys and utilize them, and he just wants to go. And that's why I'm saying I think you guys are thinking out of the same brain, because in a condensed schedule, you don't really have a dang choice at this point. You just gotta go.
Yeah, it's a war of attrition. You know, you have to get after it and get your rest when you can. You know, and if guys start to tire or fatigue, you can risk injury, but you just have to just keep an open line of communication and make sure that, like, our guys are coming in today. There'll be some guys on the ice, and there'll be some guys doing recovery work, and there'll be some guys doing the GM and recovery work, and some of the guys on the ice that are low minutes or haven't been in the lineup for a bit will probably do all three. So it's just those lines of communication with our staff and our players, and then trying to make a solid plan that gets us ready to go for the next night.
Well, speaking of, Coach, you brought up McCarr. How close are guys like that? We saw them back on the ice, at least skating just a couple of days ago. Do you got an update on McCarr, Byram, Comfer, all those guys?
Yeah, I think that Byram and Comfer are going to be available for tomorrow, and we'll make some lineup decisions today and figure out what we want to do. And McCarr, I guess he could be a possibility too. I don't know for certain on him. I may have some information tomorrow, and we'll see. But I do believe he's getting close too. He's been on the ice quite a bit here, feeling pretty good, doing the same kind of things Byram and Comfer have been doing. So those three guys, I'd say Byram and Comfer are ahead of McCarr at this point. So we'll see. Hopefully we get a couple of them, or one or two of them, back in or available at least for us for tomorrow.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering about things. Things are so tight in your division right now, especially at the top. What happens at the end of the season if you don't play the same amount of games as another team and it costs you a seed? How do they determine seeds if the games aren't the same?
Yeah, win percentage. So that's what they did last year. They basically, once the halt came or the pause came, and then they decided they were going to fire it back up for the bubble, they basically said, okay, this is how we're doing the playoffs, and you just live with it, So one of the reasons why you want to be playing, like, the goal for me is always to get the best seed you possibly can, because there's home ice advantage, and who knows, that could be a big advantage. We could be getting fans back in our building hopefully soon, and all of a sudden home ice advantage means something again. Like, there's a slight advantage in the bubble because you get last change, but it's not the same as having your crowd behind you when you get cooking in a playoff game. So. One reason why you want to be as high a seed as possible. But the second thing, and probably the most important thing, even above the seed, is that your team is playing the best hockey they can possibly play come playoff time. It's not about, we went on a 10-game run in November and then cruised to the finish and we were just okay and we got the top seed. It's about your habits, your details, your work ethic, the execution of your game plan, like having all players feeling good, confident, firing on all cylinders. And if you're doing that come playoff time, then you're going to be a good team, because some teams will limp out of the gate and have a strong finish and away they go. So, to me, it's about that as much as getting the top seed, and that part of the season is still yet to come. We got half the season here to go.
Coach, we got to go real quick here. I know you well enough. I'll speak the truth to you, unlike these guys. I will speak the truth whether you like it or not. Your lettuce, it's time. Coach, it's time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Coach,
Wow.
Listen to me. I'm an expert. I'm a professional when it comes to that. It's time.
When it comes to fashion, I trust you, Vic. It's just I'm probably going to let it go for a little longer.
Coach, listen to my words. It's time.
Coach, always appreciate your time.
Love you, Jared.
Yeah, got a lot of interesting games coming up. 2 game sets against Minnesota, Arizona, and Vegas. Good luck in all of those, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks,
See you, Coach.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
There you go. Jared Bednar, head coach of the Avs, joins us every Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
You just talked to another man about his own hair.
You
just tried to
unlike
dictate to another man.
Like, I was going to
about
call
his
you
own
last
lettuce.
night. I was going to call you last night because I watched the postgame show.
Look
and
good.
you were wearing a sports coat. You don't button both buttons of the sports coat, bro.
Well,
you
I had
only
a
button the top button.
I know. The problem is I had a really long tie on, and it was sticking out and going down like a ramp.
I look out for my friends.
I know,
Unlike some, I look out for them, and I give them advice.
Here's the problem. I had to try to cover up the end of the tie because it was a really long tie, and it was kind of sticking out like a snake.
Is the tie talk done, and can we take a break?
Brett, he talked to another man about his hair.
Yeah,
about
that's a
his
common
lettuce.
occurrence. It's every week on this show.
Yeah, I know, but that's just you cross the line. You just don't cross, Vic.
What are you talking about? You don't think in the room that they give each other flack for that?
Jesse, just cut him off, please.
You just don't do it.
That means go to break, Jesse. Go ahead.